Placing the heat exchanger today. Perfect day for it. Turn the gas off and undo the union. Remove the side panel. One screw. Slides right up. Remove the inducer RPM switch and the inducer power off the board and send them down. Undo all the wire ties off the burner so we can take the burner off. I am replacing all the flame sensor and the igniter. So remove the gas valve support. Taking off some screws to get the burner out. Remove the burner screws. There's two of them, one on each side, one on this side and one on that. And slide the burner out the way. With the burner out of the way, we're going to go ahead and remove the inducer motor by taking out some screws around to get it off the plate. Remove the blower door and take off the supply side panel to get into the heat exchanger. Once you remove the screw, pull off the side panel. There's the heat exchanger. Back in the front, remove all the screws, support screws that are supporting the heat exchanger, all the way around, so we can slide the heat exchanger out. The screws are removed. Now I have to remove this BAS discharge sensor that is in my way, kind of. Typically, this is not there unless your building is supplied with a BAS. Slide the discharge air sensor out of the way gently, and then begin by removing the support bracket right here with a 7/16 ratcheting wrench, any 7/16 wrench. Remove this bolt so you can drop the bracket. Okay, after removing that, I normally let it just hang there. I don't take the other side off. Still attached. Gently, I start pulling away from on the heat exchanger to slide it out of here. Gently start sliding the heat exchanger out from the side, and continue playing with this bracket so it doesn't get caught up. With the heat exchanger out, we're going to confirm we have all the right parts. Always confirm you have the right parts before beginning doing any work. I've already done so. We're going to take a look. We have several cracks on this heat exchanger. Couple right here, holes where the two bends turn. On this one, actually, they're on the inner part. Normally I find these cracks on the outer part of the bend, but here we have them on the inner part. And here's another crack right there, and more cracks and holes right here, and several other places. All right, the new heat exchanger is back in, same way it came out. Now I'm just going to go ahead and screw it in all the way around, and then get the support bracket in there and secure it, and then begin by putting all the parts back the way I took them out. Inducer motor is in, new gasket seal all the way around, coming together. For the burner, I got a new igniter and a new flame sensor, OEM parts, and I'm going to go ahead and slap those on before putting the burner back to make it easier. Phillip head screws. Place the flame sensor and the igniter. I'm going to go ahead and clean the burners since I have it out here. Make sure, poke the orifices, make sure there's no creature that crawled in there, and make sure everything is aligning so that we don't have an issue. We are now putting the burner back in. I'm going to get it screwed in to secure it at 2 points, and then put the gas valve bracket in and tie in the gas. All right, I just did all the wiring, burners attached, gas is on. I'm gonna clean up this wiring, get it all nicely zip tied together and nicely out of the way, and then continue assembling the side plate and the rest of the unit. All right, because we didn't replace the inducer motor because it was working, we're gonna go ahead and check the capacitor on the inducer motor, make sure that it's okay. We don't want any callback. Set the meter on microfarad. This capacitor should be reading, it's not zooming in, but it should be reading 4 microfarads. And we are reading the 4 microfarad. So I'm gonna plug that in. We're also gonna replace this pulley. This pulley is worn down. It eats through the belts. So we're gonna go ahead and replace this pulley. First thing, we're gonna have to remove the belt. And what you wanna do is periodically loosen the motor slack so that you can have slack on this belt and it'll come right off. But normally what I do is I just grab the belt like this and just go around and it'll slide right off. It's not recommended to do it that way because you could bend or break or warp something, but you just got to know what you're doing. Alright, so because they have screwed the set screw right on top of the threads, not able to spin this off anymore. So I was able to take the set screw in the back off and slide the keyway out. Now we're going to see if we can slide. Let's see if it'll come up now. Well, I didn't need to actually clean anything, but I'm still going to go ahead and clean this shaft nice and good. This did slit right out, and now we got a new OEM part. We're going to put that in, adjust the adjustment on the pulley to kind of match this one, but we'll always have to take an amp reading after we're done so that we make sure that the amps are within the motor spec. And also we're going to adjust the belt tension and make sure everything aligns properly. Stay tuned. Shaft is cleaned up. Looks like a teeth mark right there. We're gonna go ahead and clean the keyway. I like to clean the keyway too, so it slides in easily. Just basically put it down on a piece of cloth and go back and forth. Alright, so how do we know a pulley is bad? If you look at a brand new pulley, you'll see this nice V-shaped groove, and it's nice and smooth on the inside. Well, when we look at this pulley right here, if my camera can focus here, you could see that that V groove is kind of just around it, and every time I run my finger right here, I can feel that it has been worn through. So this pulley here, I mean, it was eating belts, and you know, and it's bad. All right, motor pulley's on. Now we're adjusting the belt tension. To do that, you loosen these 4 bolts that's holding the motor bracket in place. There's 4 of them, 2 in the back, 2 in the front. And then with these adjusters, you'll remove or you'll loosen the nut underneath and continue with a 9/16 wrench. Tighten them both the same way. Make sure you don't go one more than the other, because then you're picking up the motor not evenly. And we're gonna go ahead and tighten those up, loosen the belt tension to about 1 inch of play, and leave it there. We're all set. Put on a new pulley. It's aligned with the blower pulley, and it has about 1 inch of play. Everything's tightened up. I just still have to get some wire ties for these wiring, and we could fire this thing up to smoke out the heat exchanger. All right, everything's buttoned up. I had to look at some other units here for the customer, but I'm back to this one to finish it up. My blower's back on. We are running at 5.8, except the tolerance are 6.8 on the motor. We're running at 5.8, so we're good there. I have my manometer hooked up to the manifold to read the manifold pressure once the burners start, and the end cover removed and placed onto the discharge duct, so that way the smoke from the heat exchanger burning off that oil does not get back into the building. All right, we're back on. Nice blue flame. Right now we're only calling for W1, and we can verify that 24 volts to common, W1 to common, and W2 to common, 0. So we're only calling for W1, so we're on low fire. This is a two-stage gas valve. The gas valve is saying high 3.5 inches and low 2 inches. Right now we're reading 2.1. It's a little bit high, on the high side. I'm going to go ahead and adjust that to 2. And I'm going to wait till second stage calls so we can see where we're at on our gas manifold. All right, we are back up and running. Area is clean. This is dirty water. Units back together. Running in heat mode right now. Everything's back together, and it is dark. Well, I pulled up here at noon and began on this, and then I had to look at these two units right here as well, so that was about an hour spent on those. So in all together, this heat exchanger took me 3 hours, with exception of 1 hour picking up the heat exchanger from carrier, and so 4 hours by myself. We are all wrapped up. It's a beautiful night, and thank you for tuning in.